It's a good evening and welcome to the main news. I am Justin Matlatla. We are joined by Peaceway Zomunyiga at the Sign Language Desk.
And I'm Tariro Manamike with Sibukele Maposa at our Montrose studios. We now give you the news headlines.
Zimbabwe expects mutually beneficial partnership with Korea.
President Mnangagwa said this while addressing a plenary session at the Korea-Africa Summit in Seoul this Tuesday.
In business, Bravura makes significant headway in its 3 mining projects in Zimbabwe.
And in sports, Warriors raring to go ahead of the assignment against Lesotho.
We'll now give you these stories in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has reiterated that government is ready to scale up its collaboration with the Republic of South Korea and other nations to achieve mutually beneficial growth and prosperity. He said this at the ongoing Korea-Africa Summit in Seoul, South Korea.
Zimbabwe is committed to scale up collaboration with the Republic of Korea and others within the Committee of Nations to achieve mutually beneficial shared growth and prosperity for our respective countries. Zimbabwe is open for business and a friend to all and an enemy to none. Regrettably, for the past 23 years, my country continues to be adversely affected by the unwarranted and illegal unilateral sanctions imposed by some Western countries. These sanctions are indeed against the spirit of the theme of this summit. However, leveraging on our abundant and rich natural resources, high literacy levels in my country, strategic geographical location, and a pleasant climate, we are modernizing and industrializing our country towards sustainable socio-economic development. Zimbabwe thus applauds the Republic of Korea for the commitment and partnerships towards advancing Africa's development agenda. The journey traveled by the Republic of Korea is a beacon and source of encouragement. Numerous lessons can be drawn from Korea in terms of the appropriate policy ecosystems as we accelerate transformative policies to lift more people of Africa from poverty into a higher quality of life.
Zimbabwe and the 48 African countries attending the summit are agreed to the agenda of the summit, and I quote, "The future we make together, shared growth, sustainability and solidarity," end of quote. President Mnangagwa is expected to interact with the various captains of industry and getting the feel of how the Koreans managed to rise from the ashes of the 1950s war to become a global economic giant, a model for Zimbabwe to copy as enunciated by the Vision 2030 of the Second Republic. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Seoul, Korea.
The country's domestic currency roadmap has received a major boost after the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe pledged accountability and transparency in its operations.
RBZ Governor Dr. John Mushayavanu, Deputy Governors and senior officials from the Central Bank signed an integrated pledge in Harare this Tuesday, reflecting commitment to save the Apex Bank for the benefit of the economy. The pledge, administered by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission (ZAC) chairperson Mr. Michael Reza, saw central bank officials assuring the nation of transparent and accountable policies. For Dr. Mshayawanu, commitment to price, exchange rate, and inflation stability are the key pillars of the pledge.
Merely putting a signature will not help. What we need to do is to walk the talk. Like we said in our monetary policy statement, if you are signing a pledge to say, I am going to be a very clean person, I'm not going to be corrupt, you must live up to that. I've said to the people at the Central Bank when I had my meetings with them that we hold very powerful positions here. our decisions can change this economy. And it is my wish that central bankers become very aloof.
ZAC authorities noted that integrity will be the key element in ensuring the central bank preserves the value of the newly introduced structured currency, the Zimbabwe gold.
We will go after each and every one of those people who try to sabotage the ZIG. We will go after them. And the ZAC that I lead is going to go after them. We are going to bite and we are not going to let go.
As part of facilitating transparency and accountability of the ZIG, the central bank has revealed that independent external auditors will audit precious minerals and foreign currency reserves backing the structured currency once a year. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
A refurbished section of the Nemakonde Highway in Harare has been opened to traffic, with government emphasizing that construction and rehabilitation of roads is a priority. Tendai Munengwa has more.
The long wait is over for motorists following the opening of a 1.8-kilometer stretch of Nemakonde Road, formerly known as Lomagundi, which stretches from Harare Drive to Westgate Roundabout this Tuesday.
It's part of one of the trunk roads that we have in Zimbabwe. And we started right from Julius Nyerere, the Chinese Zero, and today we are witnessing this again section towards Westgate. But the idea behind is to say, yes, we are witnessing with the advent of SADC, which is coming in just a few months to come. SADC will come and go, but we also need robust and vibrant infrastructure at the end of the day, and that's why we are here. And some of us, the culture that we've now embraced under the Second Republic, once again, under the visionary leader, His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, is not to work from the offices. We are monitoring projects, and I hear also citizenry. We are accountable to the citizenry, and we are, at the end of the day, we must account for our actions in terms of even the rehabilitation that we are taking.
Harare Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Senator Charles Tavengwa, thanked contractors and motorists for their support.
As we are heading for SADC, I think for those who are here in Harare, who will witness the works being done by the Second Republic, and especially by Zimbabweans, as we rightly say that, and I am assured that the works that we are witnessing are up to standard.
After all has been said and done, a test drive was conducted, led by the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Mona, paving the way for all motorists to use the road. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
The Second Republic's strategy of looking inward for investment and infrastructure development has come at the right time for the SADC region as President Emmerson Mnangagwa takes over the chairmanship of the regional bloc in August.
Devolution funds and human capital have catapulted Zimbabwe to a new era of development, as evidenced by the revamping of the Beitbridge border post, the Beitbridge-Chirundu Road, and other major highways throughout the country. As President Emmerson Mnangagwa takes charge of SADC in August, the Bulawayo community is confident that the Second Republic's approach to empowerment and development could be shared with the regional bloc to expand the empowerment drive for the benefit of the citizenry across Southern Africa.
People are mining for themselves. They are allowed to own a mine as a Zimbabwean. The benefits which the president, as he's taking over, can encourage other SADC countries that ukuzibusa yikho kwenza country phumelele.
We've seen quite a number of improvements within our different industries in the country. Those are a direct, improvement on movement of goods and, even movement of people in terms of tourism.
Political analyst Mr. Metuseli Moyo and Zimbabwe's consortium general manager Mr. Nqobile Ncube applauded the Second Republic's thrust of revamping ports of entry and major roads, reiterating how infrastructure development will promote intra-Africa trade among several benefits.
The realization is that once all these road networks and the port infrastructure and the airports and the dams are improved, it basically means Zimbabwe is going to retain its ability or its role as the logistical center for the whole of southern region.
There are issues around empowerment. It's one thing that has defined the issues and politics of Zimbabwe. And one wishes that this was replicated across the sub-region, where young black people come up and take up spaces in business, and also in terms of land tenure rearrangements.
Government has, since the inception of the Second Republic, moved with all swiftness in infrastructure development, with Zimbabwe becoming a beacon of hope for the African continent.
The country will be hosting the SADC summit, and that SADC summit, it will be held at the new Parliament building in Mount Hampton, and as such, the government, through the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure Development, is seized with road maintenance, road rehabilitation and reconstruction of various roads accessing the new Parliament building.
Anticipation is building up, with President Emmerson Mnangagwa set to take the reins of the regional bloc this August from Angola's President João Lourenço. Grace Zibanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Production capacity at state-owned allied timbers continues to surge, with the firm's export receipts on a growth trajectory.
The recapitalization of state-owned allied timbers has resulted in a surge in capacity utilization at the entity's sawmills from 60% to 80% this year. The company's chief executive officer, Mr. Ramejio Nenzou, is convinced the firm will continue on this growth trajectory due to its recapitalization drive that saw the company's export receipts increasing.
We have got production at the sawmills at the estates. Our capacity has moved from the previous 60% to 80% in all our sawmills. Here at Mutare, this is our value-add production. Our capacity is hovering around 90%, which is very good. And this is where we generate most of our exports from.
Investments in new technology have further boosted the company's revenue streams at the value addition plant.
What you are seeing here is our new machine, a leader machine, which is a 6-cutter molder, which is more advanced than the previous 6-cutter, which had a production capacity of about 10 cubes per shift, as compared to this one, which is producing 40 cubic meters per shift.
Allied Timbers is also exploring possibilities of converting sawdust into wood for tobacco curing. Kenya's Chifuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
Entrepreneurs in the granite production industry are benefiting from the export ban of raw granite and other raw materials.
The Zimbabwean government instituted Statutory Instrument 127 of 2022, which effectively bans the export of raw granite unless authorized by the Minister of Mines and Mining Development to pave way for value addition. Local producers of granite products have become the biggest beneficiaries, with performance in the industry improving after the government policy intervention.
Driver's license,
we are leading. We are the best, especially in the world, because granite is being provided all over the world. It is being produced here in Zimbabwe. It is sent all over.
UN Comtrade data reveals that in 2022, a raw granite stone was pegged at 117 United States dollars per ton, well below the market rate of 1,000 United States dollars per ton of a value-added stone.
Tangaida kuti vanhu vezesa vauye votiisira transformer yedu kana kuti votikotera transformer kuti inoita mari inokwanisa kusumudza kaindustry kese kematombstone.
Granite can be cut into slabs which are polished and used in the production of tiles, tombstones, interior pavers, countertops and elegant exterior designs.
Black granite is very important. Inodiwa zvakanyanya iri pademand.
Saka asi kana tikatarisa haimbotorwi sechicherwa chinokosha. Saka tinechiti ngadai papa paonekwawo ipapa.
Is the value addition aspect after the raw mining of the stone itself is quite imperative. Why? Because it is going to be able to regulate, it is going to be able to reduce the final product in terms of pricing.
Government is encouraging companies to set up value addition and beneficiation factories to increase revenue from granite exports, mainly to South Africa and Europe. Tarema Duyu, ZBC News, Harare.
Government measures to protect the public from illegal foreign currency dealers are bearing fruit, with illicit traders deserting common street havens in Harare.
A survey carried out by the ZBC News in Harare Central Business District this Monday shows that most of the corners which used to be hive of activities with foreign currency dealers remain deserted, a positive development towards the stabilization of the economy. Harare's road port, East Gatemore, as well as corner Jason Moyo and Angwa Street are some of the hotspots that have been deserted.
Tiona kuti wapinda mushop takwanisa kutenga nezig nekudadawo nekuti isusu toita kuti taine mari yedu yemunhu iri kushanda ine simba.
Takushandisa mari dzedu hapachisina chatishungurudza zvakanyanya. Saka hatichisiri kushungurudzika nawo nokuti ndiwo vaitishungurudzika panhau dzemari.
Yeah, mama nichenja kubva kwakaita mustreet sometimes zvinenge zviri nani kozi mari hadzisi kungoraisa zvekuti nhasi retiri pakati mangwana retiri pakati.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police has since declared war on economic saboteurs, saying the arrest of scores of illegal foreign currency dealers after the launch of ZIG is only the beginning of a blitz to eradicate currency manipulators.
We are monitoring people who are now putting information on social media groups, including WhatsApps, where they are advertising, where they are publicizing the rates which they are offering, clearly indicating that people are contravening the country's laws in terms of the exchange control regulations. So action is being taken.
More than 200 suspected foreign currency dealers have since been arrested, and the Zimbabwe Republic Police, working together with the RBZ's Financial Intelligence Unit, are on high alert to deal with the perpetrators. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The increase in admissions at Bulawayo's drug rehabilitation facility in Ngucheni has brought to the fore the need for more facilities to deal with the menace.
Close to 200 drug addicts are admitted on a monthly basis at Ngucheni Hospital, where the drug unit can only accommodate 98 patients. The institution is now overwhelmed, hence some patients are being discharged without going through the full rehabilitation process to create space for others.
Unfortunately, it means that everybody who needs admission gets admitted at Ngucheni, and this is resulting in the overcrowding and sometimes early discharges to try and create room for others.
A drug and substance abuse march organized by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Bulawayo's Nkulumane suburb this Tuesday brought to the fore the need for collaborative efforts in the fight to curb drug and substance abuse.
Residents kungabi a problem that's individualized.
Sibe sifisa ukuthi njengabazali sikuspread lokho. Iye singakuchiyi lapho.
The church says it is ready to support the rehabilitation drive to ease the burden on government institutions.
The church is a very key stakeholder in bringing families together affected by drugs and dysfunction caused by the drug abuse. The church really has a lot that it is doing, and it has a role to play. It cannot stay back.
Government is scaling up efforts to fight drug and substance abuse, with maximum security having been deployed at the country's major entry points.
Zimra now has a canine unit, dogs that can detect these things, even as the aircraft land at Joshua Nkomo Airport. So we were trying to plug those holes, and I believe the strategy is to cover all border posts, not just airports.
Government has rallied citizens in the fight against drug and substance abuse as part of a collective effort to arrest the social ill, which is destroying young people in communities. Grace Sibanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
ZANU PF has rolled out a countrywide restructuring program with the sale registration exercise expected to run until the 17th of next month.
The ruling ZANU PF is conducting a restructuring exercise as provided for in the constitution of the party to maintain a robust membership database. ZANU PF National Political Commissar Comrade Munyaradzi Machacha gave an insight into the scope of the exercise.
We have started a new program that is going to see the party right across the country restructuring its smallest organ, which is the cell. The program will move in two phases. Phase number one is awareness phase, where we started with the PCCs this last weekend, informing all leaders of the party in the provinces what procedures are going to be followed in implementing the program. The second phase will involve the actual work of recording all our members in the provinces at the lowest level of the village and gathering data on each of our cells in the rural areas and in urban areas.
Comrade Machacha also disclosed that the 11th of June has been set aside for party members to improve their surroundings in their respective communities.
Improving their own welfare, improving the conditions in their clinics, in their schools, or even repairing some of the roads that link them to the main feeder roads that go into cities. So all these things are some of the projects that at cell level the party members can meet, discuss, and find ways of solving some of the problems.
The cell registration exercise will culminate in the election of leadership from branch to provincial level as the ruling party remains rooted in the grassroots to champion developmental projects countrywide. Bruce Chawanda, SADC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe is on a drive to bolster its healthcare workforce through increasing the student nurses intake. More from our health editor, Abigail Tembo.
The initiative is meant to address the critical shortage of nurses caused by brain drain and propel the country towards universal health coverage. With a spirit of dedication and a collective eagerness to serve, the Impilo School of Nursing welcomed a new group of student nurses.
Ngiyathanda ukunakekela abantu abangezwa kahle. Ngiyathanda ukuthi ngibe seduze lalabo abangezwa kahle, ngikhulume labo, bantshela ukuthi bazwa njani and ngibancedise ngazo zonke indlela engikwanisa ngazo.
This is my second week and all is good. We are learning. We are trying to adjust to the new environment.
I chose nursing because I think it's a calling to me. Because I've got a sick mother at home, so I think she needs my help.
Impilo School of Nursing Senior Tutor, Mrs. Simiso Moyo, explained the impact of the program.
We hope that with this intake, we are going to have increased numbers of nurses because the patient demand is also increasing, and we hope by training these young ones, now that the age limit has been reduced to 17 to 30 years, that is the bracket of the students that we are training, and we hope that they will be effective and assist the community and the nation at large.
According to the Ministry of Health and Child Care, a total of 565 aspiring nurses have been recruited across 19 institutions for registered general nurse training in the first intake of the year. An additional 257 will be trained at 7 primary care nursing schools, with plans underway to increase the numbers in the next intake. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Well, there's more news on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also check our social media handles on X, on Facebook. We're at ZBC News Online. Also, subscribe to our channels on WhatsApp as well as on YouTube. We're at ZBC News Online.
And now for stories still to come in this bulletin. Bravura makes significant headway in its 3 mining projects in Zimbabwe. In sport, Warriors rearing to go ahead of the assignment against Lesotho. We take a break. Stay with us.
Siyalamukela kuhlandla le-Zimbabwe Gold, lapho imali yethu eveza khona ukuziqhenya kwethu.
Asipoha, ongeboga, koindi okay, grand challenge, promotion. Asipoha, ongeboga, koindi okay, grand challenge, promotion. It's jumping
Shumba Plus Dust, the extra strong grain protector. More power for less money.
Welcome back. The community public continues to suffer at the hands of touts amid lawlessness at various pick-up and drop-off points in Harare.
Touts, popularly known as Mawindi, have become a law unto themselves, harassing the commuting public as witnessed by this news crew at Roadport Pick-up Point along Harare-Mutare Road. The situation is almost the same at some of the illegal pick-up points in Harare, and the unruly behavior is a daily nightmare for the commuting public.
Sometimes munanongo kudonza ka usto otoita confusion ototadza zoti chikuitika. Even sometimes unogona kutobirwa cause vanokonzeresa confusion yayo kuti vanogona kudonza vakawanda nditi. Iwe oficho wakatakura kanoti mapapa bag nemabags hausikunyasoona kuti chikuitika. Unotozoona kuti konda chanandakabata apa cause vanogona ngokuataka vakawanda.
Pamarasira vanoitaka unotoita fee like for example chikwira bhazi so vanokudhonza zhazha zvekuti unogona kutoluza all your properties.
Aiwa Mawindi zvavari kutoita hazvitombori right. Havasitombo right. Vanozokonzeresa confusion muvanhu. Vanogona kuzotora munhu nekuti anozoenda kudirection yaanenge asingadi.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police is on the ground to deal with the culprits and is also hunting for Inter-Africa buses owner Leonard Mukumba in connection with the violence that rocked Mutare at the end of last month.
We are still waiting for the owner, who is Mr. Leonard Mukumba, to come forward and cooperate and assist the Zimbabwe Republic Police in the ongoing investigations. So this is a case which is still under investigations. So far, we have arrested a total of 2,184 touts, some of them who are appearing before the courts. And then we have impounded over 8,000 pirate taxis throughout the country.
The Harare Youth Transporters Association has called on operators not to abuse the government policy, allowing them to operate in the sector.
We are saying, Isusema associations, Mawindi, they are under certain bus companies. Mawindi, arima ranks ma-operators cannot ma-associations kunyanya anoziva vanhu ivavo. We are saying kuti Mawindi aya ngaasenze under banner yama-associations.
This comes after 30 touts were arrested after causing chaos in Mutare at the end of last month. Peter Chivima, ZANU News, Harare.
On that note, we cross over to our Montrose studios where Sibukele Maposa is on standby. Good evening, Sibukele.
Thank you very much, Tadi and Justin. Good evening, Zimbabwe. Let's carry on with this news bulletin. Consumers in Malawi have raised concern over the increase in counterfeit goods and services in the city's informal market.
Dotted along busy streets and tucked into corners in high-density suburbs,
a new breed of shops has sprouted. These informal shops offer a convenient pit stop for residents, but a closer look reveals worrying facts as most of the goods are counterfeit, from dishwashing liquid to baked beans. The telltale signs of counterfeits abound in blurry labels, misspelled brand names, and flimsier packaging. These products, often sold at significantly lower prices, are finding their way into the hands of budget-conscious shoppers.
Sometimes you have a dollar and there are dollar deals, so you go for the dollar deal.
Kwesinye isikhathi lokudla esikudlayo ayisikho okulungileyo kathi khona vele kwenziwa yini ukuthi izinto ezingalunganga zibe zithengiswa ezitaradeni.
The source of the counterfeit is, however, a matter of contention.
Products yedu tinotenga kuBotswana ndokwatinovha nezvinhu izvitoya totengesa muno. Lezi sizithatha phandle kwelizwe, so sibuya sizotengisa lapha. Hayi ufanana kuyafanana vela kula mehluko. Bulawayo muno mutoto supply from Harare ndokwa zvakazara kwazvinobva.
Consumer protection groups are urging residents to be cautious.
Consumer Protection Commission is deeply worried by the influx of fake products on the market. This practice has serious consequences for the country. Our team is actually on the ground to ensure that at the end of the day, we do identify all these various sources and make sure that those that are found wanting actually are brought to book.
Experts warn that the counterfeit goods, particularly food products, come with serious health risks.
Some of the foodstuffs may contain impurities like heavy chemicals or metals that may cause a lot of disturbances in the human body and may in the long term be associated with some cancer development.
The influx of counterfeit products highlights the need for a multi-pronged approach, which includes effective regulation and enforcement of laws. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The issue of the tourism levy and unlicensed players was topical during consultations for the Tourism Amendment Bill in Gweru this Tuesday. Our Midlands Bureau Chief Tafara Chikumira gives us the following report.
The Tourism Amendment Bill, which was recently approved by Cabinet, saw tourism players in the Midlands province taking time to scrutinize the bill. The bill seeks to repeal the Tourism Act, which is no longer in tandem with current trends in the tourism sector.
There has to be a bit of seriousness in trying to identify people who are operating without registration, because as the registered operators, we are getting conferences. As it is, you can see the conferences full, but we don't know where people are staying. You realize that they are staying with people that are not registered.
One of the concerns maybe is the levy itself. Maybe it's too high, maybe it can be dropped maybe to 2% from 2.5. I think that would be fair.
The government says much of the concerns raised by tourism players have been addressed by the bill, with legislators now fine-tuning some grey areas through the consultative process.
Zimbabwe Tourism Fund is for development and also to give ZTA money to operate, and just to operate for promotional purposes. So that is key, that we need to put and unveil and put it on the table and be transparent to the operators, the business operators, because Zimbabwe Tourism Fund is formulated from the 2% levy that is paid by the tourist through the operator coming to the government.
The Tourism Amendment Bill is coming at a time the Second Republic has made significant strides in implementing the National Tourism Recovery and Growth Strategy, which is targeting a $5 billion United States tourism economy by 2025. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
Village business units are gaining traction, with Manicaland province benefiting from irrigation projects established by government and its development partners. Let's hear more.
The move to establish village business units has proved to be a game changer in improving food security and growing the revenue base in rural communities. Chitio village in Mutare Rural is among beneficiaries of a gardening project being promoted by government and its partners.
Tajigara muna December 2023 takatanga nekovu. Ikati tisamari nekuti chinchakazire tichigare kovu muno muinya kuti takatarisa mukati menzvimbo inokuti gore remvura hakuna ende muriwo wanga rutonetsa.
Zvita kuchera mvura yakachena, mapombi taichera mumatsimedzi yekumwa mvura. Yanga ichitonetsa nguva yacho iyoyo. Chero nenharaunda yakukwanisawo kuuya yachichera.
Mugarden medu tichitanga mugarden tine matepi 20 etinoshandisa pakudiridza zvirimwa zvedu. Kunze tine tepi 1 yetakaisirwa tane 21 uye 22 tine chekumwire mombe chitengi chinomwire mombe dzedu dzenharaunda mvura.
Tiri kufara nezvetakaitirwa nehurumende nemapartners ayo kuti unzire garden mukati mwenzvimbo yedu yekwashitiyo.
The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Professor Obed Jiri, was recently at Muchefa Mechanized Garden in Buera, where the community has emerged as pacesetters in implementing the village business unit's concept.
This village business unit started to operate in December 2023, and so far they are now in their second crop. In the first crop cycle, which was marketed between March and April, raised over $7,000. There are 50 participants. So this has already started to change livelihoods and to impact livelihoods in this village.
Government has set a target of 35,000 village business units to promote sustainable development in rural areas. Kenya Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutari.
Leaving no one and no place behind. My name is Sibila Maposa. This brings us to the end of our Montrose update. Over to you, Tadi and Justin, for the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Thank you, Sibukele. We continue with the news bulletin. Residents of Trafalgar Flats, owned by the Harare City Council, are up in arms with the local authority for failing to attend to burst sewer pipes and garbage.
Despite being home to a number of Harare City Council's workers, the complex has been plagued by several challenges, which include burst sewer pipes, inadequate water supply, and heaps of garbage. The smell of raw sewage and overflowing trash has become a constant reminder of the City Council's ineptitude.
Panyema sechitarisira kuti nguva nenguva sezvakaita pabuilding panapa pagare paine maplumbers anenge akasainwa kuti vanoshandira pabuilding rakati vashandira pabuilding rakati. Kana zvikasadaro tichitasira kuti maplumbers anga ari tikangofona kukanzura kuti kuno kwaitika problem panguva diki watoya wagadzirisa.
Ndiyo paTrafalgar tinge tichiona tsvina inenge yakawanda, saka tichichaya kuzoti panoshandika sei nemasuweji nei marara.
Harare City Council spokesperson Mr. Stanley Gama shifted the blame to the current road construction works along Julius Nyerere Way.
We must take cognizance of the fact that when Julius Nyerere was being repaired, there were a lot of sewer beds caused by heavy machinery which was working on the road.
President Emerson Mnangagwa has appointed a commission of inquiry to investigate the Harare City Council after the local authorities' persistent failures to deliver basic services to residents. The commission has been tasked to identify the root cause of the local authorities' inefficiencies and recommend improvements to enhance service delivery.
Youths are becoming central figures in climate adaptation amid calls for a multi-sectoral approach in the drive to offset the impact of climate change. This emerged during an event held in Harare this Tuesday on the eve of World Environment Day.
In a united stand on the eve of World Environment Day celebrated on the 5th of June, youths from around the capital met at the Harare Gardens this Tuesday in support of climate best practices under the theme #Generation Restoration.
UNICEF works closely with children. That's our mandate. Children are the future of every country, the future of the world, and we need to hear their voices.
Zimbabwe is the incoming SADC chair from August, so we do hope to have a strong environmental approach and address in climate change mitigation and adaptation issues. And with a country that is undergoing El Nino, we would like Zimbabwe to have a thriving agency in addressing environmental issues.
The initiative is in line with government efforts to promote drought resilience among youths.
We are saying this is the time for us to really amplify the issues of land restoration and how we can increase resiliency towards desertification and drought. And specifically today, looking at the young, they are the future they are our future. So it is quite critical for them to actually interrogate some of these environmental issues and shape the future that they want.
Climate mitigation is in tandem with the country's developmental agenda and contributes to the global sustainability development goals. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
In stories from beyond our borders, 11 people have died following heavy rains accompanied by strong winds in Cape Town, South Africa.
City of Cape Town Traffic Services spokesperson Kevin Jacobs urged motorists to exercise caution after flooding on roads across the city. Reports say several thousands have been injured and left homeless across Cape Town and KwaZulu-Natal as the rains continue. Community halls have been opened to provide shelter and food to displaced residents as rescue efforts continue.
The ongoing conflict between the Sudanese Armed Forces, the SAF, and the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, in Sudan has severely impacted the financial system, leading to rising transport and commodity prices. According to the World Bank report, Sudan has lost 60% of its economy and production as a result of the conflict. As fuel prices continue to rise, transportation of gold, the country's main source of foreign currency, has been severely affected, including exports of gum and cereals. Analysts contend the high demand for foreign currency to import basic commodities has resulted in currency fluctuations, with consumers paying more for goods. This comes at a time when the conflict has continued to escalate without any prospect of peace in the near future.
The Israeli Defense Forces says it will continue launching military operations across the Gaza Strip. According to Palestinian official news agency, the Israeli army launched multiple airstrikes on Gaza City in the north of the Strip, in Buirej and Nuseirat refugee camps in central Gaza and the southern city of Khan Yunis, resulting in many casualties. Israeli police have issued a statement confirming that they launched a joint military operation with the security service and the IDF in the Balata refugee camp east of the West Bank city of Nablus on Monday. According to Palestinian Health Ministry, more than 36,000 people have died, while over 82,000 have been wounded since the beginning of the conflict in October last year.
We'll look at business after this break. Stay with us.
That's it. The regular football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
No! Oh, no.
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Yeah! Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport. Football season is over.
What?
Yes, it's over.
No! Oh, no.
But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way.
Yeah! Sorry, that's actually a pretty big deal.
Catch all 51 games of Euro 2024. Stay connected to DSTV to watch all the action on Supersport.
Welcome back. Diversified Pan-African mining firm Bravura Group has made significant progress in developing 3 mining projects in Zimbabwe. This comes after the Second Republic presented an opportunity for the company to become a key player in the local mining industry.
The foreign companies undertaking 3 flagship projects in the mining sector, the Bravura Platinum Project in Selu, the Kamativ Lithium Mine in Midlands, and the Bravura Iron Project in Manize. In a media briefing held in Harare this Tuesday, Group General Manager Benga Oja disclosed that a box cut will be constructed this year, while their suppliers commissioned a plant and equipment for their lithium project.
Having platinum, iron ore, and also lithium in our portfolio is part of our strategic objective, for which the budget and finances that is required for those projects have already been earmarked before we embarked on this.
With operations in more than 26 African countries, Bravura Group Executive Director Mr. Ransom Owen says they've set sights on Zimbabwe as their future strategic investment center.
Zimbabwe is blessed with an abundance of natural resources. It is blessed with a highly literate population. It is blessed, believe it or not, by excellent weather. It is also most critically and beneficially for potentially natural investors. It is blessed by the commitment of his government and the government of Zimbabwe to utilizing the resources that it has for the benefit of its people.
Drilling and exploration is now at an advanced stage at the Manize Iron and Steel project, alongside the analysis of core and construction of the direct reduction iron and steel plant. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And now in the arts, the city of Bulawayo was a hive of activity this Monday as the Ixwala Festival lightened up on the ongoing Bulawayo Arts Festival. We get more from Hlomili Ncube.
The arrival of Chief Dagamela of Ngai at McDonald Hall in Bulawayo added flavour to the Bulawayo Arts Festival, which kicked off Sunday. It was also an opportunity to tap into the knowledge of Inxwala elder Gogo Patricia Chavalala.
Inxwala iqakatheke ngokuthi iyasilondela amasiko ibisela ukuthi ukudla konke siza kufeza izulu elizakuna kube yinto ezibikiweyo. Enxwaleni kuyabe sokubikwa izithelo zakuqala zibikwa enkosini kusenzela ukuthi kubikwe izinhlanyelo zihlengiwe zazivele zihlengiwe bese sokuvuthiwe sokusiyabikwa ukuze kungaqhamuki imikhuhlane njalo ukudla lokhu kungasibalekeli ukubonga imilimo yethu.
Poets also graced the occasion, adding a new dimension to the festivities.
Sisibeke kumcimbi noma ngithi mina umkhuba wenqwala awengeke wezakala umkhuba wenqwala kungelabutho.
Chief Dagamela, who was the guest of honor, gave an insight into the significance of the Inxwala Festival.
Thina nxa sikukhangela njengoba abokhekheli bomdabu labo moya sinanzelela ukuthi kuqhakathekile ukuthi inqwala iyenzakala siphunge imimoya leyo isizwe sibe lomhlahlandlela isizwe sibe zazi ukuthi siyangaphi so ngibona ngathi kuqhakathekile ukuthi ke after this lecture i-conversation omele sibe layo ukuthi ivuselelwa kanjani.
The festival, which kicked off on this Sunday, ran until Wednesday.
Well, we take a short break. Thereafter, we'll be joined by Anashe Murombezi with sport.
Promotion asipo hapo ongekoga ko in the okay grand challenge promotion it's live jumping into
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shamrambedzi here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, the Zimbabwe senior men's football team, the Warriors, are raring to go ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho at the Orlando Stadium in Johannesburg, South Africa on Friday.
The Warriors have stepped up preparations for their FIFA World Cup qualifier against Lesotho, with the team going through its paces under the watchful eye of interim coach Jairus Tapera at Wits University Stadium this Tuesday. All the players were present except the injured Brandon Galloway and Tinesh Khadebe, who were expected in South Africa this Tuesday. Midfielder Jordan Zemra summed up the mood in camp, saying the team is hoping to build on their good performances against Nigeria and Rwanda in their first two World Cup qualifiers.
Two good performances, I think, especially against Nigeria. I think we played really well that game, and to be fair, we should have maybe got more than a point. I think Rwanda, we should have maybe put it to them a little bit more to take more points. But I think, yeah, for sure, it's two big games in this quest for World Cup qualification. You know, we can dream. You know, we dream as footballers to achieve such special things.
Meanwhile, striker Douglas Mapfuma, who plays for Polokwane City in South Africa, is thrilled at the prospect of representing his country.
Ngiyajabula kakhulu because bengilindile lesikhathi in isikhathi kade ngilinde ukuthi ngibe khona akuzange wayenzeka, but when if isikhathi sikaNkulunkulu ayikho into engakhona uphikisa. If it's God time, it's God time. The thing that I was supposed to do is just to be patient.
The Warriors will face Lesotho at Orlando Stadium in Johannesburg this Friday before taking on Bafana Bafana 4 days later at Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein.
A government is working on a sustainability plan for the National Sports Stadium beyond the current refurbishment works. This came to light during the pre-shipment tour of China, where Secunda Holdings partnered the government in procuring bucket seats for the National Stadium.
An interministerial delegation is in China for a pre-shipment assessment tour together with a representative from Secunda Holdings, who have partnered government in renovating the National Sports Stadium. The tour is not only earmarked at assessing the fittings for the stadium, but to ensure Zimbabwe is able to maintain the facility beyond the refurbishments.
We are also happy with what they're going to be giving us. We'll be able to get a product that we'll be able to maintain, even the knowledge transfer when they come for the installation. They're going to do that process so that our people will be able to maintain the facility post the installation.
Apart from the technical sustainability plan, the government is also working on a financial sustainability plan.
To make sure that once we install the seats, they are certified by CAF, FIFA, and they're also safe for our people that will come to the stadium for different activities. There are certifications that we needed to check. We needed to check also on the measurements of the actual seat before shipping. And to make sure that the product that we are purchasing here is the right product.
Refurbishment of the National Sports Stadium is expected to be complete by the 31st of December this year, enabling the Warriors to play their home matches in front of their fans starting next year. The refurbishment of the stadium is not limited to the football side, with plans also in place to install a new turf for athletics and an electronic timing system. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Dehao, Shandong, China.
From football to cricket, the Zimbabwe A women's cricket team emerged victorious once again after edging Botswana by 70 runs in their fifth match at the Kwibuka Women's T20 tournament in Rwanda this Tuesday.
The Zimbabwe emerging team made 4 victories out of 5 games, carries off a 70-run victory over Botswana this Tuesday. Botswana opted to bowl first, and Zimbabwe A posted 139 runs in 18 overs, with beloved Biza top scoring at 31 and Kelly Slovo contributing 25. In response, Botswana only managed 69 runs in 18 overs, handing Zimbabwe A a 70-run victory. The win propels Zimbabwe A to 3rd place in the 8-team tournament with 8 points, while Uganda remain unbeaten and top the table with 10 points. Zimbabwe A will face Nigeria on Wednesday, looking to continue with their impressive run at the tournament.
And that's it from the Sports Corner. Now let's take a look at the weather.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to today's weather report and focus. My name is Baba Maketa.
Contrary to what has been happening over the southern parts of South Africa, where cloudy conditions together with some rain were experienced, Zimbabwe enjoyed sunny conditions throughout the day. However, it was cold in the morning, becoming warm as the day progressed. And in the forecast tomorrow, we're expecting it again to be mostly sunny throughout the day, and also it should be cold in the morning, becoming warm as the day progresses. And for these temperatures in detail, we're expecting it to be cold in the morning in most parts of the country. Harare should have a minimum of 10 in the morning and a maximum of 28. Bulawayo 9 in the morning and 28 again in the afternoon. Gweru 4 and 27. Mutare 9 and 28. Kwekwe 10 and 29. Kadoma a minimum of 8 in the morning and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. Masvingo should start off at 7 in the morning to record a maximum of 30 in the afternoon. Shinoi 10 and 30. Lupane 3 and 29. Bindura 11 and 29, Marondera 6 in the morning and 27 in the afternoon, Gwanda 5 and 30. In our major holiday resort areas, we're expecting Victoria Falls to have a minimum of 8 in the morning and a maximum of 29, Kariba 14 and 30, Great Zimbabwe 7 and 30, Nyanga 5 and 24, some slight ground frost expected over Matopos with a minimum of 2 degrees Celsius in the morning and a maximum of 27, Chimanimani 11 and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. In our outlook, that is the weather for the day after tomorrow, again we're expecting it to be cold in the morning, becoming gradually warm as the day progresses. Sky conditions should be mostly sunny throughout the day. That is all from the Weather Desk Zimbabwe. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your viewing.
And that concludes tonight's news bulletin. I'm Tariro Manameke.
And I'm Justin Mahlahla.
Good night.